we will be solving second question of May June 2024 paper 1 variant 1 of further mathematics. So start this question number 2. Before that, let's understand what the question is asking. Okay, so here the question: prove by mathematical induction. This is a question from proof by induction that 6 power 4n plus 38 power n minus 2 is divisible by 74. This is to test for divisibility for all positive integers n. Okay, so here we will follow up the 3 steps which are commonly used in mathematical induction. Prove true for n is equal to 1, assume true for n is equal to k, and prove true for n is equal to k plus 1. So let's go for first step. Prove true for n is equal to 1. Okay, so let's insert 1 in this 6 power 4 plus 38 and then minus 2. Let's calculate it. What are we getting our answer? Plus 38 and minus 2, we are getting 1332. Okay, so we have to check it that is it divisible by 4? Yeah, that is divisible by 4. It is. Wait, 74 multiplied by 18. Okay, so it is divisible by 74. Now let's so we can write here which is divisible by 74. By 74. Okay, let's move on to the next step. It is assumption. Assume true for n is equal to k. Okay, so just insert k instead of n. This is 6 power 4k plus 38k and minus 2 is equal to 74a, and here we will write a belongs to real. Okay, so here now we are going on our last step, in which we will prove true for n is equal to k plus 1. Now insert k plus 1 instead of n. Okay, so it will be 6 4k plus 4. Okay, then plus 38 4k plus 1 and minus 2. Okay, So we can write it as 6 4k dot 6 power 4. This dot represents multiply. Okay, according to indices, if we again write it as one figure, so it will get an add there. Okay, then here 38 power 4k dot one net. I did a mistake here. Yeah, it is k plus 1 only, not 4k. K plus 1, and this is k, then dot 38 minus 2. Okay, now we have to substitute something, so I will find here from that 38 power k is equal to 74a. This minus 2 go towards right and become plus 2, and that 6 power 4k will go towards right and become minus 6 power 4k. Let's insert this in the place of 38 power k. If we find out 6 power 4, it becomes 1296. 1296 bracket open, 6 power 4k bracket close, plus 38. What we will write instead of 38 power k? 74a plus 2 minus 6 power 4k bracket close, and then negative 2. Okay, then 1296. Okay, we can leave that, don't multiply that. Okay, it will make it complex. No, there is no need, and they can't be multiplied directly until or unless we have the value for k. Okay, so just copy down it, 1296 dot 6 power 4k. Then we have to prove it true that it is divisible by 74. So if I write 74 multiply by 38a, it will be same. Okay, 38 multiply by 74 or 74 multiply by 38, this is same. Okay, now multiply 38 by 2, so it becomes 76. Now multiply 38 by minus 6 power 4k, so we will write minus 38 dot 6 power 4k, then minus 2. Okay, so here you can identify that 1296 dot 6 power 4k, and here minus 38 dot 6 power 4k. So subtract 1296 minus 38, it become 1258 dot 6 power 4k. Okay, and then plus 74 38a, and there is 76 and minus 2, so it becomes 74 plus 74. Now we can see that it is 74, it is 74. Now we have to check, is it also 74? So divided by 74, and let's check it. Yes, it is also divided. It is also getting divided by 74. So here we will take 74 common, so it becomes 17 dot 6 power 4k plus 38a and plus 1. and now we can write which is divisible by 74. Okay, now if we leave here, we will lose 1 mark for the conclusion. So the conclusion is really important in the exam. So let's write the conclusion. Since it is true for n is equal to 1, then it is sorry, if it is true for n is equal to 1, and if it is true for, because the second part is assuming, and if so it is if condition, and if it is true for n is equal to k, then it is true for n is equal to k plus 1, then this implies true for all positive integers of n, and hence true by induction. So let's review this question. In starting, we prove it true for n is equal to 1 by substituting 1 instead of n. Okay, inserting 1 instead of n, we got 1332, which is a divisible which can be divided by 74. So we can write this statement, it is divisible by 74. Then we move to the step of assumption. We assume that it is true for n is equal to k. We substitute k instead of n, and we got the same equation with k instead of n, and it equated by 74a 74, because we are dividing it by 74 and it will multiply it by a. Okay, where a belongs to real number. Through this we found that 38 power k is equal to 74a plus 2 minus 6 power 4k. Then there is a third step, prove true for n is equal to k plus 1, where we substituted that k plus 1 instead of n, and through that we got here equation 6 power 4k plus 4, then plus 38 power k plus 1 and minus 2. We write separately by, instead of adding the powers, we multiplied that terms. Okay, so through that we got the 38 power k, and we substituted that 74a plus 2 minus 6 power 4k instead of 38 power k, and then we simplified it, and through this we finally proved it that it is divisible by 74. Then we wrote a conclusion, then we stated a conclusion, which is, since it is true for n is equal to 1, and if it is true for n is equal to k, then it is true for n is equal to k plus 1. This implies true for all positive integers of n, and hence true by induction. Thanks for watching the video.